Hello everyone, it is Miss Amira and we are back with another super fun activity. This one we're going to be using household items that we can find to be building something super cool. So before we get started, let's jump into our community builder. So I want you to think of things around your house that are round and that would roll. So for example, a water bottle would roll, or a coin, or even a lemon. So let's take a moment to kind of look around and see if we can find anything in our house that can roll. So sitting here at my desk, I can even see things right in front of me that roll. So for example, this ball of twine, it would roll. Or even some small beads. Now we want to be careful with these because we'll lose them, but they roll. And even thinking about things in my kitchen, we have oranges that would roll, or we have cans that would roll when you put them on their side. So this is the kind of creative thinking that you need when you want to participate in making and tinkering. Tinkering. All right, so today we are going to play around with using stuff from around our house to make something new. That's what making and tinkering is. So first, you need a few things to tinker with. You're going to need some tools. So some of those things that we're going to need today are tape, scissors. So make sure that you either ask permission or that you have assistance from an adult. We're going to need scrap paper, glue, and markers. So I have a couple markers here. So see if you can gather those things really fast. And if you don't have all of those things, that's okay. We can just use what we have. So our goal for today is to use these things that you have in your house to build a car that rolls. So you'll need a body for your car. For this version, let's use a toilet paper roll. If you don't have one of these, you can use a water bottle also. Now let's take a minute to think about how we can make this roll. So that's how a car moves. What do you have in your house that might work for the wheels? I know that I have a couple things that roll in my house, so I think that I will be using spools of thread. But other things like bottle caps work as well. So think about vehicles that you've seen before. Do they have four wheels? How are the wheels attached so that they'll roll? Take your ideas and sketch out a plan for making a vehicle that can roll across a table. So let's take a couple minutes to do that. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. So since I'm using a toilet paper roll for my car, I'm going to start with drawing a toilet paper roll. And the drawings don't have to be great. I'm not super good at drawing, but just a general idea since it's just the drawing part of it. So I drew the toilet paper roll, and let's think about how the wheels are attached. They're at the bottom, but they're also attached to something called an axle. So the axle runs through the car so that the wheels stick out on both sides. So and that's kind of hard to draw if you think about it, because you can't really see them, but we know that they're there. And most cars do have four wheels. I think that if we use the four-wheel design, that's going to be the most stable for us. So I'm also going to draw my materials so that you guys can see exactly what I'm using. We have the toilet paper roll. And then I'm also going to be using something called a skewer for the axle. So here's my rough sketch. As you can see, we have our toilet paper roll, our little spools of thread for the wheels, and these are kind of like the pieces that I'm using today. So again, you can use whatever you find in your house. On my table, I also have some straws, just in case my original design doesn't work out. All right, so a prototype is your first try. The idea is that your first try won't be perfect, so start with something basic and then improve it later on. Using your tools, try to build a car that rolls across the table. We're gonna work about 5 minutes to see what we can build. So again, if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. We're also going to play a little bit of music while we work. All right, so like I said, I'm going to use a toilet paper roll. and these things called skewers. Now these are really long, but I think what I'm going to do is probably have to cut them in half. So again, if you're using scissors, make sure that you are either having adult supervision or permission to use them. Ooh, these are really hard to cut actually. So maybe I'll just have to break them. There we go. So I think that might be just long enough to fit through the toilet paper roll. And I have 2 of them. So I'm going to poke a small hole, hopefully through the toilet paper roll. I might have to use a different kind of pair of scissors for this one, because this toilet paper roll is a little bit thicker than I anticipated. All right, so I poked a hole. Uh-oh. There we go. And let me poke another hole. And 2 more in the back, because we're going to need 2 axles because we have 4 wheels. All right, so here are the holes that I poked. They're really hard to see, but they go in one side and out the other so that we can slide the skewer or the axle or the straw, whatever you're using, through the toilet paper roll. There we go. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's a prototype. So now I'm going to do the back one. All right, so now I have my body and my 2 axles. Both are pretty crooked, but again, it's a prototype. All right, so I'm going to use these spools of thread. Unfortunately, I didn't have any bottle caps, so I wasn't able to find any other type of wheels in my house. So we're gonna put these 2 there, and this one here and here. Now since these 2 are shorter, you see that there is a little bit that hangs off. We're gonna have to try to find a way to cap that off. So I think what I'll use is a little bit of string to tie a knot around it. Let me cut a small piece off. There might have been too small of a piece actually. Cut the piece. And I'm going to tie a knot around the end of the skewer so that the wheel doesn't fall off. And I'm going to double knot it too. See? Oh, see, that's why we need to tie the string. All right, let me do the other side so that our wheels in our car don't go run away. Cut another piece of string, and whatever idea that you can think of to make your wheels stay on, feel free to experiment with it. These are the wheels that I had available in my house, so this is kind of what I have to work with. But if you're using bottle caps or anything else, it might be a little bit easier because your wheels would be smaller. All right, so I have them on. I'm going to cut the extra string off so that it doesn't get tangled. There we go. And also it kind of looks like my back axle might be a little too short. So I think what I'm going to do is replace this one with a longer piece. So now I know that that one's too short. I'm going to probably have to make it a lot longer. All right. Gonna put it back through the toilet paper roll. Place our wheels back on. There it goes. Uh-oh. Now the wheel's stuck. There we go. All right. We have a little bit of extra, so I'm just going to break that off. And again, I'm going to use the string to tie the wheels so that they stay on the axle. Having a hard time tying the knot. There we go. All right, cut the extra off. And then we're gonna do one more side. There we go. All right, and then the fun part, we are going to decorate it. So I kind of like very simple design, so I think I'm just going to do a racing stripe with my red marker right on the top. I think a very thick red racing stripe. And I'm going to color it in. Also, feel free to decorate your body of your car before you assemble it. That might be a little bit easier than what I'm doing. But that's okay. That's, again, why it's called a prototype. All right, there we go. So, I think my car is all done. So, if you need more time to work on yours, feel free to pause the video. I think for now, we are going to move on. All right, so let's take a look at your wheels. Do they roll or do they slide? So, looking at my car, some of them roll and some of them don't. So, when I roll the car, because the axles are crooked, only 3 wheels roll at a time, whereas this one actually doesn't roll because it's just a little bit tilted higher than the other ones. So I think if I were to change something, I would try to make sure that when I put the axles through, that they went through even instead of kind of crooked. Do you see them? So let's see. I encourage you to work on your car, try different models, try different things. I think next time that I try to build this, I won't use spools of thread. I'll try to find some bottle caps, but experiment with it. Keep trial and error, see if there are things that work better, see if a water bottle is better than a toilet paper roll, or if using straws for the axle is better than toothpicks or skewers. All right, everyone, so let's go through a quick reflection. How do you feel when your car doesn't work right the first time? How will you change and improve your car as you move to the next prototype? And what might you add to your car to give it power to move on its own? I want you to think about that reflection while you're doing our next activity. So I want you to follow the link to our My Future page so that you can complete wind-powered vehicle. So on this My Future activity, you are going to build a car that is powered by a source of renewable energy. So renewable energy is something that you can use over and over, like wind, water, or solar. So until next time, everyone, have fun. Don't forget to finish your My Future account. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll see you again later. Bye.